So, One Piece. This this is a rather underground anime.
Bruh.
Not a whole lot of people talk about it.
Bruh.
The fandom is, all wholesome and stuff like that. I recently started watching this anime called One Piece, and I'm currently am on the Impel Down. Well, I'm near the end of Impel Down and the beginning, and just before the beginning of Marineford, which I've heard is gonna be insane, and I've seen a shit ton of spoilers about it. Goddamn, am I hyped? But I wanted to. So Marineford is closer to 500 chapters, or
Bruh.
the ending of Marineford, not chapters, episode. I wanted to talk about a rather recent, I guess, but a previous arc. Recent but previous arc. Thriller Bark. Why? Thriller Bark was like 90% of it was just regular one. There was comedy, action, and stuff like that. What truly got me to really love Thriller Park as a arc in One Piece was the ending of Thriller Bark, because it gave us one of, if not the most epic moments in anime history, which I'm pretty sure I should my future self should have played it at the beginning of the video. If it didn't, then So anyway, let's get some background on this. So let's recap the arc as a whole, or the ending of it, I guess. The Straw Hat Pirates finally defeat Gecko Moria, one of the seven warlords of the sea, and regain their and all the people on the island's shadows. Luffy is exhausted as he used both gears second and third, which the gears that Luffy uses slowly but surely whittle down his lifespan. He used gear second and third simultaneously to defeat Gecko Moria, and the rest of his crew is similarly exhausted, but like not outright like fainted from exhaustion from fighting oars with Luffy's shadow in him, and then Moria as well. Everyone was celebrating that they finally have their shadows back when a rather silent storm approaches them all. This silent tyrant is known as Bartolomeo Kuma, another one of the seven warlords of the sea who works for the world government. Well, unlike the other warlords who just do their thing and occasionally help out with the government's affairs, Kuma really helps them out, like a lot. He's almost like always with the government. It makes sense with what I'm gonna say a bit later on. Kuma has been ordered to eliminate the Straw Hat crew and any other person on the island. Because if the world found out that another one of the seven warlords was taken down, then the Navy would lose face a lot. Luffy is out for this fight, and the rest of the crew are extremely wounded, yet they decide to fight Kuma, which, not gonna lie, turns out horribly. Kuma's devil fruit, the pawpaw fruit, pawpaw, P-A-W, yes, pawpaw fruit, grows paws on his hands, which can deflect anything. And I mean literally anything and everything. All of Zoro's attacks that he launched at Kuma get deflected by Kuma as though Kuma's out here swatting flies, and even Sanji nearly breaks his leg trying to kick Kuma on the face. Then Kuma just suppresses air and turns it into a freaking bomb and just nukes all of them. The people on the island, the Straw Hats, you name it. After said nuke, everyone is knocked out due to, well, being nuked, and Kuma approaches Luffy's unconscious body to, kill him or take him, stuff like that. Before Zoro surprise attacks or speed blitzes, whatever, Kuma and inflicts the first little bit of damage on the warlord, but immediately finds out that Kuma has robotic parts and probably even has an AI thanks to Dr. Vegapunk, and Zoro's damage becomes non-existent or barely affecting him. As his fight with Kuma goes on, Zoro has a thought, or I would say realization, that as he is now, he cannot defeat Kuma or even run away due to so many of his crew and others being knocked out. Thus, he does something that outright confirms his loyalty to the future king of the pirates, Luffy, and the rest of his crew. Kuma offers Zoro and everyone else a way to save themselves. Offer him Luffy's head and he will let every single one of them on the island live. To which Zoro's response is to take his head instead of his captain's head. Zoro explains that right now his bounty isn't worth much, but he is gonna become the best swordsman in the world in due time and a huge problem to world government later on. Kuma asks Zoro why he would give up such a great ambition for Luffy, his captain, to which he replies that Luffy will be the king of pirates. Just as he's saying this, Sanji interferes and tries to take Zoro's place but is knocked out by Zoro before that can transpire. Kuma, out of God knows what, sympathy, respect, or maybe just outright sadism, tells Zoro that if he can take on all of his captain's pain that Luffy accumulated due to using his gears and fighting over time too much, he'll let all of them live. Then he proceeds to deflect all the pain and fatigue out of Luffy and forms this huge red paw ball of death and agony, and lets Zoro have just a small taste of it. That small taste was enough to get Zoro screaming and writhing in pain, which is just holy. Even after learning that he has to take on all of this pain, he only asks Kuma if he can do it somewhere else other than here. And then we see him plunge himself into the bubble. After everyone wakes up, Luffy is full of life as all of his pain and fatigue is gone and he feels like he's flying. Sanji, however, upon regaining consciousness, realizes that things could not go so simply for them and hurries to find Zoro. After a little bit of searching, he finds Zoro standing in one place and he's relieved that he isn't dead. However, when he approaches Zoro, he questions his earlier statement of he isn't dead because of what he sees. An entire pool of blood on the ground, and in the middle of it is standing Roronoa Zoro with his arms crossed, standing there, menacingly. Sanji, in a state of absolute fear and panic, asks Zoro whether he's alive or not and what the hell happened here. To all of which Zoro says nothing happened.
何もなかった。
Now, why did Zoro say nothing happened? When you think about it, it makes sense. Zoro's best moments, Zoro's biggest fights, toughest fights, have always been while he was on the verge of death. For example, his fight with Mr. One, aka Das Bones. Not gonna lie, sounds like a Disney Nuts joke. Water Crocodile's strongest member. He fought him when he was severely wounded, or even take his more recent battles in the anime with King, left-hand man of Kaido, the king of beasts. Before said battle, Zoro was insanely wounded because this giga chat of a man took on two Emperors of the Seas combined attack, Kaido and Big Mom, all by himself, and then barely any time passed before he had to fight King, who also is from an ancient line of extremely strong beings who can fly and control fire while he's nearly dead and still manages to win and transcends to King of Hell Zoro. To Zoro, this is absolutely nothing new, as he has always been at the brink of death. Before the fight with Kuma, Zoro was half dead. After said fight, he was also half dead. And that's why nothing happened. Now, let's ask, what is the importance of nothing happening? This moment, as simple as possible, confirmed that the Straw Hat crew is not even remotely ready to go to the new world, Shinsekai. And even if they did, they would not survive whatsoever. Could you imagine? No Haki and only Gears 2 and 3 Luffy trying to fight Kaido or even Doflamingo? He would have gotten plastered on the floor and the rest of his crew would only be worse off. They would experience something even worse than what Gecko Moria experienced. Moria just lost his crew and survived at the hands of Kaido. Luffy and his crew would get insta-killed by Doflamingo. Kaido would intimidate them to death with his Conqueror's Haki. The crew, as they were pre-time skip, are not ready whatsoever for the Shinsekai. And this moment proved this, and other events in the future of the anime further solidified this moment. Well, this is the end of the video, but just like Zoro, I'm lost as to what the outro should be. So I'm gonna ask you to like and subscribe. Trying to get to 100 subs by the end of the year. If we can get more than that, then it'd be very nice. See you in the next one. Peace.
Cocaína.